Welcome back to this two-part series on Plato's theory of knowledge. Plato's theory of forms, which we discussed in the last episode, tells us where knowledge comes from. However, it does not tell us how one could ever actually come to have knowledge, or, in Plato's terms, how one could ever come to understand the forms. This is one of the tasks that Plato sets out to conquer in his dialogue, the Meno. He argues there that forms can be understood by recalling information known within the soul. This aspect of Plato's epistemology is the theory of recollection. The Meno begins by posing an epistemological dilemma known as Meno's paradox. The paradox is this: if someone does not know something, he cannot learn it because he does not know what to look for. Conversely, if someone does know something, he cannot learn it because he already knows it. As Socrates puts it, a man, quote, would never try to find what he knows because he knows it, and would never try to find what he does not know because he does not know what he will try to find. As a response to Meno's paradox, Plato invokes his theory of recollection. He posits that all people know all that which can be brought to conscious awareness, but are not quite aware of it. His view is that the knowledge of which all men are unaware is contained within their immortal souls. Souls belonging to the same world as the forms must know the forms already. Socrates claims not only that all men have a soul, but also that, quote, there is nothing it has not learnt from its proximity to the forms. The process which we call learning really involves recalling knowledge of the forms latent within the soul using tools already contained in our psyche. This gets around Meno's paradox by dismissing the idea of learning and replacing it with remembering. To illustrate, the dialogue follows Socrates as he gets a slave boy, who is illiterate in geometry, to solve a geometric equation by merely asking questions of him. Not Socrates, nor anyone else provides this boy with the tools to solve the problem, yet he devises and uses them himself when prompted. The instruments of geometry are, quote, stirred up in him as in a dream. Socrates uses this example to argue that the solving of mathematical puzzles, alongside other things, is not a matter of learning per se. Rather, it's a matter of recalling the forms, which are already known deep within our soul. The exercise which Socrates guides the slave boy through in the Meno is an example of Plato's prescribed method for recalling knowledge of the forms. Plato argues that one can only know the forms through exercises in abstract reasoning, such as mathematics and music. Abstract reasoning is exclusively useful in this regard because, quote, it leads the soul forcibly into some upper region and compels it to debate about things in themselves. Plato calls this process of recalling knowledge of the forms by the name dialectic. So, to sum up, the central thesis of Plato's epistemology is arguably this: to have knowledge is to recall an understanding of the forms through dialectic. There are at least 5 main aspects of this theory of knowledge that we can expect a strict Platonist to adhere to. Firstly, knowledge is innate. It's contained within us, not gifted from without. Secondly, truth is universal. We respond to the forms, not the other way around. Thirdly, knowledge exists on a sliding scale. It ascends from the material world of opinion to the immaterial world of truth. Fourthly, knowledge exists in a separate world from the material one. Fifthly, knowledge is accessed through the practice of abstract reasoning, not through empirical observation. These claims by Plato allow us to ascribe to him some rough labels. We can call him an innatist because he supports the idea of innate ideas. We can call him a universalist because he believes knowledge to be universal, not relative. We can call him a dualist because he believes in both a material and immaterial world. We can also call him an early rationalist. He's a progenitor of the philosophical school, which would come to be known as rationalism. Rationalists generally believe in the importance of reason over that of sense perception in finding truth. With that, we conclude our short series on Plato's theory of knowledge. If you'd like to find more content like this, please consider checking out my YouTube channel.